In the UFC, there are several pathways to attain superstar status. There are champions like Anderson Silva, who rose to prominence by thoroughly dominating the competition. Others like Conor McGregor skyrocketed to the mountaintop by playing up their bombastic personalities. Then there's Rose Namajunas, someone who gained adoration of the fans by baring her soul for the world to see. Despite being one of the most well-liked champions in the UFC, Namajunas is far from a flawless competitor. She hasn't always delivered when the going gets tough. She has admitted to having fears and self-doubt. She has succeeded, failed, and found redemption. But through it all, Rose never failed to persevere. For that reason, Rose's story resonates with the regular person. Her journey has been one of the most inspiring tales ever told in the 8 panels of the Octagon. To appreciate how far Rose has come from being a timid finalist on The Ultimate Fighter to a combat sports hero, let's take a trip down memory lane as we take a look at her ascent to greatness. Thug Rose got her opportunity to claim gold when she earned a championship date against Joanna Jędrzejczyk at UFC 217. The story of this rivalry was perfectly encapsulated by the now iconic face-off between the champion and the challenger. Jędrzejczyk went berserk as she relentlessly told her opponent her malicious intentions. In contrast, a stoic Namajunas stood firm as she recited the Lord's Prayer in a monotonous voice. Thug Rose's message was clear. She fears no evil. Come fight night, Joanna slithered around like a starving predator while she was being introduced. Meanwhile, Namajunas stood steel-like and emotionless, similar to an assassin who's eyeing her target. However, Joanna was not prepared for what Namajunas had in store for her. Once the bell rang, Rose clicked into gear and proved herself to be the better striker. Namajunas connected with a massive right hand that dropped the champion in the first round. Namajunas blitzed. Emboldened by her success, Namajunas blitzed Joanna with a left hook that sent her to the realm of shadows and ghosts. Just like that, a star was born. Unbeknownst to Rose, the real challenge of being a champion is not the climb to the top, but rather staying there. She learned this lesson the hard way when she fought Jessica Andrade in her second title defense. In one of the most surprising finishes in recent memory, Andrade lifted Rose up and slammed her head first into the canvas, knocking her out. A soul-crushing defeat that would have deterred the average fighter, but by now we've come to learn that Rose was not the average fighter by every definition of the term. So when she was handed a rematch against Andrade, she made the most of her opportunity and avenged her loss. Fast forward to 2021, Rose found herself in a familiar situation. She secured the right to challenge Zhang Weili, who had not been beaten in the Octagon at that point. Faced with seemingly insurmountable odds, Rose has reassured herself that she's the best strawweight in the UFC. As always, Pat was by her side to provide support and motivation. When the action began, it was deja vu for Rose. A perfectly timed head kick allowed her to secure the knockout victory and slay another giant in the division. Once again, she was the champ. But more importantly, she found validation. The fear, anxiety, and self-doubt were stripped away, at least for the time being. She's not a one-hit wonder fluke. She's Thug Rose Namajunas. In her own words, I'm the best.